It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker for the 2013 USC Global Conference, Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. Governor Schwarzenegger has achieved extraordinary success and fame in all his public endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Governor and Professor Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, thank you very much, Beth, for the wonderful introduction. It's exactly the way I wrote it. Thank you. Now, I did an informal poll to just see what people wanted me to talk about here today. And the results were kind of interesting. They were kind of all over the place. Like 50% of the people wanted me to talk about when I was governor, about politics and policy. But 40% of them wanted me to talk about when I was a bodybuilding champion, or about me being in show business and doing all the action movies. And the rest of the 10% just wanted to have their money back from my movie Hercules Goes Bananas, which is a movie that went right into the toilet, okay? So anyway, I cannot give you the money back. That was 45 years ago, come on. But anyway, I am honored to give the keynote speech here today. I am going to talk about some of those things, especially about the rules that I've had throughout my life. Like every young child, I was in awe of trains. I was transfixed by their size, by the power, the big wheels and the speed and all of those things. But there was one specific train ride that I will never forget, because it was the first stop on a journey to make my dreams become a reality. That train ride took me from Austria to Stuttgart, Germany, where I competed in the first big international bodybuilding championship called the Junior Mr. Europe. And that first major title made me eligible the next year to compete in the Mr. Universe competition, which I won. And I became the youngest Mr. Universe ever, which was of course a big stepping stone for me to then get to America, which was another one of my dreams. You see, I had a lot of crazy dreams as a kid. I wanted to move to America, and I wanted to become a champion in some sport, and I wanted to become a movie star like John Wayne, and an entrepreneur and make millions and millions of dollars and all of those. I mean, my parents thought I was absolutely crazy, but I mean, I had a lot of dreams and a lot of wishes. And I was very lucky that eventually I did end up in America, in the land of opportunity, where I could make all of my dreams become a reality. And this is why I felt it was so important for me to give something back and to do something in the community or for my state or for my country. Which brings me to my first rule. Don't just take, give something back. We must serve a cause that is greater than ourselves, because we all know that in the end, we're not going to be judged by how much we make, but by how much we give. Tear down that mirror. Tear down that mirror in front of you that always makes you look at yourself. And you will be able to look beyond that mirror, and you will see the millions and millions of people that need your help. That's exactly how I felt. And this is why I got involved right away in giving something back. I started getting involved with Special Olympics, become the international trainer and the torchbearer of Special Olympics. But I tell you, the more work that I did for others, the better I started feeling. Every hour you learn new things, but every hour throughout the day I could solve problems and help the people. And now I was such a big believer in giving back that I felt that I needed to continue with that work. It's so much like in bodybuilding. When I decided in bodybuilding that I am going to retire, it was retiring from competition, but not from working out. I still work out every day. As a matter of fact, I did a really great lift just last week. I lifted Max Lakias out of his chair. Anyway, there was just I was very proud of that deadlift. But anyway, of course, that brings me to my second rule. Never ever think small. I never had any patience for that, because in German we have a saying, wenn schon, denn schon, which means if we do something, then go all out and do it well. But let me tell you something, big thinking sometimes also creates big challenges. You have so many different forces at work that it is very hard to get anything done. And the sad story is that many of our leaders would prefer to be maintenance men when the world really needs builders. Just think about that for a second. Which brings me to our third rule. We don't have to redesign the wheel. As I travel the world, I see solutions everywhere. We can find answers everywhere, all over the world. We don't have to redesign the wheel. Now, my fourth rule is we must accept personal responsibility. That especially is true when it comes to healthcare. We all know that government has a big responsibility when it comes to healthcare, but that does not mean that we as individuals have no responsibility. I mean, if you walk around with 200 pounds overweight and eat cheeseburgers and hamburgers all day long so the grease runs down your chin, and you refuse to exercise and smoke 40 cigarettes a day and wash it down with a bottle of whiskey, I don't think it makes any sense to be out there screaming and demanding better healthcare from government. It makes absolutely no sense. I think it starts by taking care of yourself. Listen, you're always going to look like what you eat. If you eat garbage, then you're going to eventually look like a garbage can. Let's be honest. So instead of being a problem, be part of the solution. Stop smoking, join a gym, eat healthier foods, and terminate the whiskey. Healthcare starts with you. Accept personal responsibility. We can't passively hope for the future we want. Each and every one of us is responsible. That, of course, leads me to my last rule, to the fifth rule, that each of us has the power to change the world. If you want change, you have to create action. You have to step into the arena. If you want to change, don't ever think that it will just happen by itself, or that someone else is going to do it. No. You must create your own change. If not me, who? If not now, when? Imagine that. The guts that it takes, that is vision. But also ask yourself what kind of a future do I want? What can I do to make the future become a reality? What can I do to make a difference? Ask yourself that question. You see, I was very fortunate throughout my life that I had great heroes that inspired me. I had wonderful heroes that inspired me because they made a difference, because they changed the world. And I idolized them, and every time I kept reading about them to get inspired. See, that is a hero. We can harness our own tremendous power as individuals to build the future we deserve. If not us, who? If not now, when? Thank you very much. Thank you.